Hey parents, have you noticed that no one in today's healthcare system ever stops to ask the most important question? Why? Why is your child struggling? Why is their body not adapting the way it should? Instead of searching for answers, the system is quick to slap on a label, write a prescription, and send you out the door. Autism, ADHD, anxiety, SPD. And it's not just the conventional world. Even in natural or holistic circles, you'll hear the same thing. Lyme disease, MTHFR, PANS, PANDAS, another label, another diagnosis, but still no clear direction forward. The list goes on, but none of it gets to the heart of what every parent is desperate to know. What's really going on with my child? Because labels don't heal, they don't calm the chaos, they don't help your child sleep, to speak or smile again. Yet that's the script families are handed today. Diagnoses instead of direction. Labels instead of solutions. It's time we change that. It's time we flip the script. Now let's look at the reality our kids are facing. Nearly 40% of children today are living with at least one chronic health condition. Some research shows it's even higher, over 50%. 1 out of every 2 kids struggling with sickness is not okay, nor should it be considered normal. Rates of autism, ADHD, allergies, asthma, anxiety, and autoimmune conditions are skyrocketing. This is not a handful of isolated cases. It's an unprecedented health crisis that has been swept under the rug for far too long. But families are finding their voices and beginning to speak up. What makes it even more alarming is this. Prescriptions for antipsychotic medications in children have jumped by 50% to 200% in just the last 2 decades. That means not only are more kids sick, but they're being medicated earlier and more often. And it almost always starts the same way. First comes the label, then comes the prescription. Now here's the heartbreaking truth. Those labels and medications rarely get to the root cause. Conventional medicine doesn't stop to ask why. It doesn't look to the nervous system, and it doesn't search for natural, drug-free options. It simply covers symptoms and leaves families feeling stuck. Now, to be fair, a diagnosis isn't always the villain. Having that label can sometimes open doors. It can give families access to school services like speech or occupational therapy. It can provide insurance coverage and even offer validation, finally putting words to what they've been trying to explain. A diagnosis can connect families to programs and to resources they may never have found otherwise. But those same labels can also create limits. They can shift from being something a child has to being who they are. Instead of a child full of potential, they become the autistic child or the anxious kid. That subtle shift can chip away at hope, creating a mindset that always this is who you are and this is how you'll always be. For some families, it fosters a victim mentality, teaching kids to expect less of themselves and believe change isn't possible. For others, it becomes the gateway to long-term prescriptions, where the focus is on managing symptoms instead of healing at the root. And once a child is boxed into that diagnosis, too many providers only look through that narrow lens, missing the bigger picture of what's really going on in the nervous system. So yes, a diagnosis can bring short-term help, but it also can leave families stuck in a cycle of limitation, medication, and lowered expectations. That's what has to change. If you're exhausted from collecting labels and prescriptions, but still searching for real answers, know this. You don't have to stay on that path. There is another way forward. Neurologically focused chiropractic care looks past the labels and digs into the true root cause of your child's struggles, the nervous system. If you're ready to learn how this approach could help your child sleep better, regulate emotions, find their voice, and truly thrive, we'd love to connect with you. Click the link in our bio, drop a comment, or send us a direct message. Your child deserves more than another label. They deserve a chance to heal.